So it seems like we're not quite done with the Spider-Man 3 rumor mill. A Fandomwire article earlier this week reported that apparently Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are confirmed to be reprising their roles as Spider-Man in Tom Holland Spider-Man 3. However, as sites, trades, outlets, and all sorts start to go crazy with that, we get to today, and now ET Canada is claiming that Sony has told them that it is not confirmed. And so it's not quite an answer. It's actually kind of a non-answer, and we're going to dissect that coming up. What does this all mean? Is there still hope for those of us there that want to see Maguire and Garfield come back in this live-action Spider-Verse kind of film? We're going to break it all down starting now.
Did you rub my lamp?
1,000 generations living in now.
Here we go.
Hey, how's it going, everyone? And welcome to FilmSpeak, where the conversation continues after the credits. If this is our first time meeting, hey, my name is Griffin Schiller. I'm an LA-based entertainment journalist and film critic. And if you want to be a part of that conversation, you're definitely in the right place. Consider subscribing to the channel for more insight, analysis, and interviews behind your favorite movies. And yes, we're going to be talking about those Spider-Man 3 rumors and the recent update to those rumors, which is that they may, in fact, be debunked. It's not 100% sure. We're not 100% certain of what's going on here, but we're going to try and break it all down, go through the reports, go through the recent update to that report. But of course, I'm not doing this alone. I am joined by, ladies and gentlemen, he's making his return. He's back from the dead. I'm joined by Tyler Tompkins. Tyler,
dude,
how are you doing?
Up? Yeah, this is a fun episode to be on because you know how much I love Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. But I'm happy to be on. You forgot to mention at the beginning, you are not only an LA-based film entertainment journalist, you're the best LA-based film entertainment. He's got all the scoops. He sees all the movies.
Scoops? What scoops?
He knows it all.
I have no scoops, but I'm going to make informed commentary off of the information I have here. Listen, I appreciate the hype. I love having a good hype man on here, so thank you for that. But guys, if you are watching this on the replay or you're watching this in the comments section with us live, be sure to let us know your thoughts and opinions on the Spider-Man rumor mill and all that stuff down in the comments section below or in the chat if you are watching this live. So I'm going to pull up the article here from Fandomwire, which is where this exclusive sort of from with the fact that Tobey and Andrew Garfield were going to be coming back for Tom Holland's MCU Spider-Man 3. So this report came out earlier in the week, and I guess they have updated it since it came out, and they're like, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are now signed on for Tom Holland's Spider-Man 3. So obviously, with the news of Jamie Foxx returning as Electro, as well as Benedict Cumberbatch and being going to be in the film as Doctor Strange, it's clear that Spider-Man 3 is going to be a big project, right? They're going to incorporate some sort of multiverse thing in here, and so there's even been rumors of like Kraven the Hunter is going to be in that.
Yeah.
Jimmy Kimmel's tweeting out stuff and whatnot, and so we all were sort of speculating, okay, with all of this in here, does this mean that we're going to get Garfield and Maguire back into the back in the tights for lack of a better phrase, or is that something that we might see a little bit later down the road, or will they be introduced in here in a post-credit scene or something like that, or will it continue and then continue in another film? That whole thing is sort of still up in the air, but Fandomwire is exclusively revealing, and I'll highlight this right here. They're exclusively revealing that fan favorite Spider-Man actors Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are in talks to appear in the untitled Spider-Man 3 movie. We want to stress that the studio is just in talks with the actors and they have not yet signed, to which they have actually updated the article and said that both actors did in fact sign, according to whatever sources that they have. Sony and Marvel are still finalizing a version of the script that will feature all three Spider-Men tackling many of their villains from the past as well as new ones. However, it's still unknown how large of a role these former Spider-Man actors will eventually play if they agree to sign on. So that is the extent of the Fandomwire article here. So, and really that's the extent of the confirmed news stuff here. But then earlier today, and I'm going to switch over here to the other article that we have. Earlier today, ET Canada actually reported on this same thing, and they were saying, no, this is not quite true. The casting rumors, the fact that they are confirmed to be in Spider-Man 3, isn't the case. And so here is their article right here. And so it says right here that ET Canada reached out to Sony Pictures, the studio that owns the movie rights to the Spider-Man movies, in light of the rumors that the former Spider-Men are in talks to join the reigning Spidey. And this is the comment from the studio rep here saying, those rumored castings, whoops, apologies for that. Those rumored castings are not confirmed. Fans will note that the statement, it doesn't deny any of the buzz that's going on, which I do want to, sort of bring up there. And then ET kind of goes on to say that it was initially reported by Andy Signore from Popcorn Planet, which, yes, that is true, but then Fandomwire sort of like brought another angle to it. So, listen, you don't have to be, a genius to figure out that they're sort of heading in the direction of Spider-Verse. Whether or not Garfield or Maguire are confirmed at this moment, it is very obvious, at least to me, that they are at least entertaining the idea or at least trying to get them on board. And so, Tyler, I'm going to pass it to you first. Just overall thoughts on this whole thing, the rumor mill, and then the update to the rumor mill, which is that no, they are not in fact in. Where do you given both of these pieces of information, where do you sort of fall on the involvement of Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in the film?
Well, number one, I'm obviously really excited. This is really exciting news because I truly do believe we're going to see Tobey Maguire again as Spider-Man in some capacity. Now, I don't know if it's going to be with Spider-Man 3. I think it's more realistic if you do Doctor Strange 2. That's where I think we would see him because, he's worked with Sam Raimi before. And I think once Electro was announced to be coming back, Jamie Foxx, then, of course, everyone kind of jumped on the train like, oh, okay, well, Spider-Verse is absolutely happening since Jamie Foxx is coming back. So it seemed a little too premature with that. I wasn't necessarily...
And the rumors of Kirsten Dunst, Mary Jane Watson, and then Dane DeHaan's Green Goblin were also sort of like circulating around. They were very small rumors. I didn't even know
the Kirsten Dunst thing. I knew the Dane DeHaan. I do remember that. Those were small rumors, and then it eventually snowballed into this like, okay, Andrew Garfield and Tobey, they're coming back.
Right.
That seemed a little too quick to me. I knew that probably wasn't true, even though I do think that they both will be coming back. I just don't know if it'll be for Spider-Man 3. I think it'll be in some future MCU movie, but I don't think they're going to pass an opportunity to do this because this is literally like they already did Endgame, which was a huge movie. This is like the next best thing you can do, I think.
Yeah.
Have all of them and get everyone excited,
For sure. And listen, if you watched the previous stream that I did about with Sean Chandler, where we were talking about, Doctor Strange going to be involved with Spider-Man 3, you can actually you can look at it over there somewhere. You'll know that I had some apprehensions about this. I'm like, while from a sheer spectacle standpoint and from like a more stunt standpoint, just like the novelty of it, I love this and I think it's great. But I just want to see Tom Holland's Spider-Man do his own things outside of, the confines of just something larger than him. We've only ever seen him in team-up movies, and so I feel like you bring in Maguire, you bring in Garfield, he immediately gets overshadowed,
It's like they're scared to let him do his own thing for some reason, because now he doesn't have that, Tony Stark, father figure, kind of like mentor figure, I guess.
Right.
And, I mean, he's kind of by himself and far from home, but it's like they're scared to let him do his own thing. It's very odd.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And it's like, as cool as all of this is, and I'm sure I'll love it. Like, if I get to see Andrew Garfield, who I feel to be the best Spider-Man, suit up again, and have them close out not only his arc but Tobey Maguire's arc in a way that's satisfying, yeah, I'll absolutely love that. But like, you know, it's like they're doing it while sacrificing Holland's arc, you know. Hopefully they can take a page out of the Spider-Verse book here, and like the animated Spider-Verse book here, and maintain focus on an individual character like they did with Miles Morales. Maybe they can still do that with Holland. I don't know. But right now, I just feel like everyone is talking about Garfield, Maguire, 3 Spider-Men together. They're not really talking about Holland's journey in the film, because that's not like the big draw is seeing these 2 actors who people loved in the role go into the film. And it's just like, you know, I want to see Tom Holland do his own thing. But in terms of these specific you know, rumors and stuff like that, whether to believe them or not, I just say take it with a grain of salt. Obviously, you know, Andy Signore has reported on it. Fandomwire is like saying, "Oh, we have an exclusive here." I'm sure like MCU Direct or something out there like that, like Jeremy Conrad or something like that out there. They're all like, "Oh, we have inside information," and you know, it might be true, but like I also think it's something that's just like, well, yeah, if they're bringing back Electro and they're tapping all of these other legacy actors from the Spider-Man franchise, no shit that they're going to go approach like Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. And in fact, and I said this last time we streamed about it, I think them getting Sam Raimi opened the door to this. I think Spider-Man 3 is going to tee up a live action Spider-Man film or Spider-Verse film. I don't know how involved you know, Toby and Andrew are going to be in this particular Spider-Man film, but similar to what you were saying, Tyler, I feel like they might plant the seeds in here, have a brief cameo or something like that.
You know what I would want?
Oh, yeah, what?
Well, what I would want is for this next Spider-Man 3 movie, you know, he fights Electro or whatever, and then Andrew Garfield comes in last minute, like a little cameo, kind of like a tease for the next Spider-Man movie. But in Doctor Strange 2, some reason Doctor Strange gets involved with, you know, someone crazy, and he has to team up with Spider-Man, but it ends up being the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. So he plays like a huge part with Doctor Strange. Seeds are planted in that movie, and then for the next Spider-Man movie, they all 3 team up. Like, to me, that's like the best case scenario.
That would be great. That would be really smart, because yeah, we did hear rumors of, you know, possibly Multiverse of Madness, including, you know, small brief cameos of alternate versions of these characters, like a John Krasinski Captain America or like a Tom Cruise Tony Stark. Obviously, with Sam Raimi involved, people are like, okay, does this mean that we'll get Tobey Maguire in that film? You know, and listen, if they're gonna basically tee up a live action Spider-Verse film, who the hell do you think they're gonna get to direct it? Sam Raimi,
especially Sam Raimi.
It has to be his involvement in there. Just the fact, knowing Sam Raimi and the fact that he probably had something on his mind that he wanted to do when he agreed to work for Marvel like this. Obviously, he's a big fan of the Doctor Strange character, but you have to imagine that if he was willing to, you know, play ball with the studio, that he wants to get something in return. And I'm hoping that it's this Spider-Verse film. And
see, that's the cool thing too, because like he'll get to do his Doctor Strange movie. He loves the character, so that's already like, you know, bucket list for him. And then he gets to kind of, even though I love Spider-Man 3, he gets to kind of right his wrong with, you know, Spider-Man 3. He'll be like, okay, I get another chance. Let's make a really cool movie with all of them. I can finish Toby's arc, do something with Andrew. That'll be kind of easy. And then, you know, do something cool with Tom Holland. Like, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, that was the thing that like most excited me, was that both Garfield and Maguire had their character arcs cut short. You know, so it's like just because of, you know, studio interference and a bunch of other ridiculous things. And so now they're in an interesting position where the fact that they were cut short almost helps them with the Spider-Verse film. They can complete the Tobey Maguire arc. They can finish out the Garfield arc. And then hopefully finish out Tom Holland's arc, or at least like finish out this chapter of his life so that he can move on and do, you know, other stuff. Because I have a feeling Tom Holland's going to be around as Spider-Man for a very long time. But just like give us that one film with all 3 of these guys after Spider-Man 3, and I think that'll be something really, really exciting. You know,
and that Spider-Verse movie, if it does happen, where like the main character is all 3 of them, that movie is going to make so much money. Like it is
I
going
agree.
to be. That's going to be my most anticipated movie of whatever year it comes out. Like
Yeah,
that movie's going to make
100%.
so much money, dude. I cannot wait. I hope that's what happens.
Yeah. So,
because you can't just do a cameo. Like that's not enough. You know what I mean? Like if they just kind of if they just popped up for a minute, I'd be like, oh, come on.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is basically where we're at right now. So, a couple of fanboy sites are reporting that they're confirmed to be in the film, or they're at least in talks or something like that. ET Canada is saying they reached out to a studio rep, and that studio rep said they are not confirmed. The thing to keep in mind here in regards to this particular story is that just because a studio rep says that, no, that's not confirmed, doesn't mean that they have any clue what's going on. There have been countless times where, reporters have reached out to studio reps and they've been like, hey, is this true? And they've, given an answer or a lack thereof answer, and it's either turned out to be, true, but 9 times out of 10, it's probably turned out to be false, just because the people who are making the creative decisions in the studio, they're not going to let the publicists in on what's going on. And so, I mean, just from me personally working with publicists, if there are publicists that know what's going on, they're the higher up guys. They're the people who, have been with the company for a very long time, and they will probably refuse to comment on the matter or, give an answer like this.
You're probably going to be given answers when these movies start filming. Like when Doctor Strange 2 starts filming, then it'll come out because, they're going to be, people are going to be taking pictures on set, and if like Tobey pops up, it'll come out. Yeah.
Well, here's the other thing. This stuff is going to come out one way or the other. They can't keep something this massive under wraps for very long. Like either Justin Kroll, Boris Kitt, someone is going to break the story, or we're going to get like pictures on set that are sort of talking about it. And so while this particular studio rep is saying this right now, that does not necessarily mean that it's not going to happen. In fact, I would venture a guess and say that they're definitely at least having conversations right now, just given the rest of the news that we have. So while it's not confirmed, and it's very important to know the difference between a rumor and a confirmation, it is something that will most likely happen, whether it's in Spider-Man 3 or Spider-Verse or whatever, or how many films they're signed on for. We don't know the details of that yet. But
and you and I know movie news. We followed movie news forever. You work in the industry, and a year ago or 2 years ago, this would have been kind of like, no way. But you can just feel that this is going to probably happen. Like you can just feel it,
Yeah.
And it probably will. But like you said, it's a rumor right now, so nothing's confirmed.
And that's just ultimately what we have to treat it as. And so hopefully that kind of helped you all figure out what's going on here. I know it's been really confusing. I know there have been so many, even reputable websites that have run this thing and kind of just gone with it, which I understand because of just the information that's out there, and you can make a sort of informed decision, but it is just a rumor. And we have to treat it as such. And then with the ET Canada thing, it sort of, it's not a confirmation, but it doesn't entirely debunk the rumor or the notion that they'll be in the film. So if you want my personal opinion, I think they will 100% either be in Spider-Man 3 in a small capacity, or they'll be in that'll eventually tee up a live action Spider-Verse, or they'll be in a post-credit scene, and then they'll be in a live action Spider-Verse film directed by none other than Sam Raimi. But Tyler, any final thoughts on this before we close out?
No, that's exactly how I want to see it happen. I would love to see Tobey kind of not play a huge part, but be in a significant amount of Doctor Strange 2, Andrew Garfield. It'd be cool to see him pop up in the next Spider-Man movie, and then I do want all of this to lead up to just a live action Spider-Verse movie directed. You have to let Sam Raimi direct it.
You have to.
I don't want to see John Watts. I want Sam Raimi to direct it.
Yeah, and it's nothing against John Watts, but it's just Sam Raimi,
it's just too perfect. You can't. It's like a fairy tale ending, dude. You can't you can't pass it up. Yeah, exactly. And plus, if Sam Raimi is going to be handling something as ambitious and large as Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness,
That's basically going to be his trial run for doing, this like multi-dimensional sort of thing here with Spider-Verse. And so, yeah, I'd be really, I hope that they go with him, just because I think one, it feels right, and two, I just trust it more in Raimi's hands than I think I do John Watts' hands. Not that John Watts has done anything to...
Raimi's huge. I totally agree. If Raimi was not involved in any capacity, I'd be nervous. I'd be like, I'm excited, but with Raimi involved, this is very exciting. This is very exciting news.
And then, after this whole thing happens, I really do hope that they give Tom Holland like a couple of films where he can just have his own small adventures. Let the guy be the Spider-Man that you hired him on to be. Let him have his own adventures, his own stories outside of, character interactions or whatnot. You don't need to do much to sell a Spider-Man film. It'll sell on name alone, and people love Tom Holland. So that would be my only hope, is that following all this Spider-Verse stuff, they just have Tom Holland go do his own thing. Whether it's still in the MCU or not, doesn't matter to me. But there you have it, guys. Those are our thoughts on the latest Spider-Man 3 rumors, or I guess sort of like rumor debunking. Not really debunking, but you get the point here. Again, let us know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below, or if you're watching it live in the chat here, we'll definitely be checking them out after the stream and whatnot. And thank you to Mr. Tyler Tompkins for joining me today. Tyler, where can everyone find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram, Letterboxd, and Twitter by searching my name, Tyler Tompkins. I should be one of the first few that pop up.
Yeah, definitely head on over to his Letterboxd, especially.
Yeah, I'm like the most active on there, yeah.
Logging stuff daily, and for all of you, we'll give those of you who are watching a little bit of a sneak peek, but we're going to be bringing back the Front Runners, which is our award season show. That should be happening hopefully sometime next week or so, after we've seen a couple more award season films. So if you like that stuff, definitely keep an eye out on the channel. And speaking of that, if you haven't done so already, be sure to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the FilmSpeak channel for more content such as this, and also movie reviews, television recaps, all that good stuff. If you want to be a part of this conversation that we have going here on the channel on a regular basis, definitely stick around and check out more content. We'd love to have you. You can also like FilmSpeak on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, just search FilmSpeak. And if you like me specifically and you like what I have to say, you can give me a follow on Twitter at Griff Schiller. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this little editorial live stream talking about the future of Spider-Man. And until next time, take care.